All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're unpacking an institutional analysis of Wise Travel India, probably better known to you as WTI Cabs. Our source material gives us a detailed snapshot of the company as of January 2026. And this is a really pivotal time in its story, as it shifts from being a high-growth SME into a much more mature player in the B2B mobility space. So here's how we're going to break it down today. We'll look at four key areas. First up, we'll get a handle on where WTI stands strategically right now. Then we're going to dig into the bull case and the bear case, looking at both sides of the coin. And finally, we'll pull it all together to arrive at a verdict on its current market phase. Okay, let's get into it. Section 1, WTI Strategic Crossroads. This is all about framing where the company is today. It's not just a post-pandemic recovery story anymore. This is a company going through a true fundamental transition. Let's start with the big picture, the executive synthesis. Fundamentally, the company looks stable, but its valuation, well, that's where the story is. It's trading at about 12 times trailing PE, which is a pretty big discount to its peers, who are sitting around 23 times. So it seems like the market is seeing this as a cyclical reset. Now, if you look at the strategic scorecard on the slide, you can really see this tension playing out. On one hand, you've got some bright green lights. Revenue is looking strong, with a 30% compound annual growth rate, and more than 700 corporate clients, and their tech stack, with that FleetPro integration, is definitely a key strength. But then, you see the pressure points. There's a yellow for the margin profile, showing compression from those EV rollout costs. And critically, a red light for competitive intensity, especially with Uber Black now entering their core metro markets. This scorecard really frames the whole debate we're about to explore. So let's move on and see how this all builds into the bull case. Here, we're going to focus on the core strengths and the strategic advantages that supporters believe will really drive WTI's future growth and value. At the very heart of the bull case is what this report calls the asset-right advantage, and this diagram shows the model perfectly. See, on one side, you have the owned fleet, which gives them asset control and reliability. But on the other, you have the leased and aggregated fleet, which offers incredible operational flexibility. When you combine them, you get this optimized balance sheet that avoids the super heavy capital costs of traditional fleet owners. This strategy is absolutely crucial for their fast scaling in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, giving them a real first-mover advantage there. The second pillar for the bulls is their proprietary tech. And look, this isn't just about cars. It's a whole layered tech stack. The slide shows the physical fleet as the foundation. But built right on top of that is FleetPro, their proprietary data stack for things like roster optimization and carbon tracking. And the final layer? That's deep client integration. This is so key. Major IT and financial services clients now lean on WTI not just for transport, but for critical compliance and sustainability reporting. That creates incredibly high switching costs. It's tough to leave. And you can see how this operational model translates into some really impressive numbers. Just look at the company's velocity from 2021 to 2026. The dark blue bars show revenue climbing steadily from that post-pandemic pivot, crossing the 250 crore milestone in FY23 and then blasting past 500 crore by FY25. Meanwhile, the orange line tracks their corporate client base, which is now over 700 strong. That successful IPO on the NSE Emerge platform back in February 2024 was clearly a huge inflection point in this whole journey. Okay, the final piece of the bull case is strategic diversification. This map highlights WTI's expansion into the high-value GCC markets of Saudi Arabia and the UAE. And the strategic thinking here is pretty clear. They want to access these margin-accretive markets to de-risk the business and offset some of the margin pressures they're feeling in the high-volume Indian market. Now, execution risk is always there, but this move definitely shows proactive management. Of course, there are always two sides to every story, so let's pivot now to the bear case, which focuses on some very real headwinds and risks that are causing caution out there in the market. This waterfall chart perfectly captures the bear argument. It's all about the cost of transformation. You start on the left with strong gross revenue growth, but then you just watch as it gets eroded. First, by the huge costs of bringing in a 1,000-unit EV fleet, then by finance and employee costs. The crucial takeaway is right there at the very end, a flat or consolidating profit after tax. And that disconnect between top-line growth and bottom-line profit, that is a major concern for investors. The second major headwind is competition, and the threat is really twofold. First, you have the aggressive expansion of Uber Black, which is targeting WTI's premium executive demographic right in the major metros. And second, there's sustained B2B pressure from established players like Mahindra Logistics. So WTI's stated defense is to differentiate its offering, to focus on compliance and ESG reporting, not just rides, and to leverage its deep roots in Tier 2 and 3 cities where the big aggregators don't have as consistent a supply. The EV pivot is a classic double-edged sword, and this margin curve illustrates it perfectly. We are currently right here in the dip, in that January 2026 phase of high CapEx and OpEx, and that's what's causing that significant margin compression. This is the present pain. The bull case, of course, points to the upward curve, heading toward FY27, when the EV fleet is expected to reach utilization parity and margins should recover. The bear case, however, focuses on all the risk and uncertainty involved in actually getting from here to there. So, with both the bull and the bear arguments laid out, let's move into our final section, the verdict. This is where we try to synthesize these opposing views into a coherent picture of where WTI stands today. Let's just put the two narratives right next to each other. The bull case, or what you might call the compounder view, is focused on that strong 30-35% revenue growth, the really compelling valuation discount, and the potential catalyst of a main board transition. In contrast, the bear case, the value trap view, is highlighting the flat profit growth, the competitive margin pressure from Uber Black, the debt from the EV expansion, and the negative market sentiment that's seen the stock hit a 52-week low. So, what's the verdict? The report classifies WTI as a growth compounder undergoing a cyclical valuation reset. Okay, in plain English, that means it's a company with strong long-term growth potential that is currently undervalued by the market because of some short-term issues. Looking at the three horizons on the slide, the next 6 months look volatile, dominated by these headwinds we've talked about. The medium term, say 6 to 18 months, is all about margin recovery as that EV fleet gets up to speed. But the real story is the long term, 18 months and beyond, where the company's fundamental strengths are expected to shine, especially with that mainboard transition. So the central conclusion is this. Despite what the report calls the temporary fog of high capex, the core fundamentals, that 30% growth and 700-plus client base, they remain intact. And this brings us to our final question, which really encapsulates this whole debate. For an investor analyzing this situation, does the current temporary fog of high capital expenditure obscure a compelling long-term opportunity? Or does it signal a fundamental value trap? The answer likely depends on one's own investment horizon. Thank you for joining this explainer.